Good morning. I'm here to talk today about a startup that we have that we're just getting started on in downtown Lewes. It is a 16-room motel. We actually purchased the motel about 2 weeks ago and are hoping to go under renovations as soon as we get through the city process of architecture review and open by next summer, if all works well in the construction process. So as I was walking in here, I ran into someone who shall remain nameless, who said to me, "Are you guys crazy? That's like, besides a restaurant, that's the worst business to get into." And I said, "Well, we have a restaurant too." So yes, we might be a little bit crazy, and we really don't know yet what we're doing because we've never been in the hotel business. But so we sort of got into this over not a cup of coffee, but actually a glass of beer, shockingly. I was sitting in Touch of Italy in Lewes, right across the street from this said motel, and the owner was telling me how the business was up for sale, and it had been for a little bit of time, and completely unaware of that. So I'm sitting with 2 or 3 friends, and we're having some beers waiting for the Lewes Christmas parade to start. And so one by one, we sort of walked over there and walked around the property and was like, this is kind of a cool space, a neat property. And sort of that's how the ball got rolling in our minds. Why do we want to get into the hotel business? First of all, we have been working with local hotels for years and years and years. We opened in 1995, and we have visitors come to our restaurant in Rehoboth and the brewery in Milton throughout the year. Some of those visitors have been able to participate in a program we've been running with the Inn at Canal Square in Lewes called the Dogfish 360-degree experience, which involves the brewery tour, a kayak tour, a trip up and down the canal from Lewes to Rehoboth, sort of a dinner at the brew pub, the hotel room, of course. So we've been doing that with the hotel for a number of years, but it's unfortunately just one person or one group a weekend. So we thought this would be an opportunity to not only expand on giving more people a broader Dogfish experience when they visit, but also to take advantage or sort of take care of some of our guests that are coming here. So far this year, I got this number yesterday and it kind of depressed me, but so far this year, we have paid for 2,122 nights in local hotel rooms for guests of our brewery coming to Sussex County. So if we had a hotel, that would be 132 nights of full occupancy. Now, granted, some of those were all on one day. Our annual wholesaler conference brought in over 100 hotel rooms in one night. We also have a couple events throughout the year that do bring in multiple hotel rooms. So, but even if we take out what our biggest group of that is, are actually vendors that come to install equipment. So anyway, so take that out, we still have almost 300 nights a year just for visitors and guests that we are bringing to the area, not to mention people who are coming from, last quarter we had 12,358 people take tours of our Milton Brewery from 29 states, Washington, D.C., and 3 different countries. That, of course, is our busiest quarter, being it's summer, but we run our tour program throughout the year. So anyway, the goal is to, for some of those visitors, if they would choose to do so, to give a sort of a more thorough Dogfish experience for their visit to Sussex County. Of course, our first challenge, besides getting the building, the first challenge will be to build the team. So we do have a posting for an off-centered innkeeper, and we've been getting some great resumes from around the area, around the country. So, but that's what we're going to spend the next month or 2 really focused on is getting the right team in place. You know, we know we have to have the right people to run this with us, so we are working on that. And then we're also working on sort of design and build out and all that stuff. So I think that's sort of what the idea is, what the goal is. We have a lot of questions ourselves, like what are we doing? But you know, we'll get through that, and I'm sure we'll make plenty of mistakes along the way, and learn from them, hopefully. So I don't know if anyone has questions about Heather.
At this time, we will go ahead and take questions. So please raise your hand if you have a question for Mariah. We have about 15 minutes designated for this. So just let me know, and there are people walk around the room with a microphone if you have any questions for Mariah about her new adventure. Any questions? Come on now. I know there's got to be a question.
When is the ribbon cutting? I'd like to be there. The
Well, Sam says April, I say June, so we'll see. Might be August.
What countries do you have the most visitors from?
Canada, because they can more easily get here, but this summer we also had guests that registered for our tours. We do recommend registering online to save a space for a tour. And of the ones that registered, it was Canada, Australia, and I forget what the other one in this last quarter was, but.
Any other questions?
Mariah, it's good to be here today with you.
Thank you.
Dogfish, of course, has the reputation of being an off-centered operation. And there's motels, and there's motels, and there's motels. How do you see the Dogfish Inn distinguishing itself as an off-centered operation?
Actually, although that would be
Gary
nice.
says free beer.
There will be no beer on site. We are not getting licensing for, to sell or serve beer on the premises, because there's a lot of great places that people can walk to from the motel that do already serve our beer and sell our beer, including 2 or 3 package stores and about at least a dozen or so restaurants. So we will have glassware in their rooms, and we'll have a bottle opener in their rooms, but they will not have trouble finding the beer. And I would also guess that many of them might come to the brewery or the restaurant during their visit and sample some there. But in terms of setting us apart, one of the biggest sort of eye-openers is the people that are coming to the area and staying and giving us feedback are usually quite amazed and impressed about sort of how great Sussex County is. They didn't know. They might have come here for the brewery tour on their way through, and particularly the ones that we are able to get out on the water, on the canal, going from Lewes to Rehoboth, through the kayak tours. We partner with Quest Fitness on that. They just had no idea that that this sort of coastal Delaware was, such a great destination, and a lot of them say they'll be back. So I guess our goal is to sort of not have people hang out too much in their hotel rooms, and sort of get them out throughout Sussex County with, some of the local businesses that we've partnered with over the years, and hopefully even more.
Hey, Maria, how you doing?
Good.
Talked to Sam at the Delaware Restaurant Association Boshi tournament, and I thought it'd be interesting if you tell the folks what that philosophy is around the off-centered innkeeper you're looking for, meaning what that off-centered issue means to Dogfish Inn.
Right.
I thought that was an interesting conversation.
Well, I don't want to steal Cindy's thunder, who will be on a panel later, but Cindy's our HR manager. But for us, the biggest challenge in hiring is a cultural fit. We are going to assume you have a skill set, and we're going to assume that you have the experience based, from what we see on paper, phone interviews, all that stuff. But so our challenge is always sort of, can you hang out with us, and do we want to hang out with you, kind of thing. So, and I mean that in a way, like some people can't come into a company that is changing and growing in a somewhat disorganized fashion and enjoy that. So we are always looking for people who love and expect change, and so off-centered, we usually use that in front of most of our job descriptions. But in particular, with any kind of supervisory or managerial role, they have to sort of be open to change and want to really work in a team environment with their people. So sort of focuses that on the, right at the beginning of the job description.
We have a question over here.
You talk about being, having change.
Hello, Mariah, Mike Tyler. Mariah, Dennis, sort of building on what Dennis asked, how many rooms does this have, and will you change how the motel or hotel looks to give it sort of that off-centered appeal?
Yeah, the hotel has 15 rooms and 1 suite, which is kind of funny, because I don't know, it was sweet, anyway. Right now, we're not changing the footprint of the building. We'll change the exterior cosmetically. The building is quite sound. It's a concrete block building. Can't really do too much to mess that up. But so we will keep the exterior. Obviously we're going to do some reskinning and painting and new roof and all that kind of stuff to make it look more like Lewes and more like us. So that will. And then in the rooms, we have a little bit more latitude to have some fun. One of our members of our Dogfish Head Advisory Board for the last couple of years has been in the hotel business. I don't know, maybe that's why sort of when this opportunity came up, we were like, yeah, we can do that. But because, he has a lot of ideas to help us sort of figure out and source from a design and fit and finish perspective. So we're working on the inside, but hopefully it'll be a little bit updated from what it is now. We plan to gut the inside and just have it be sort of a fun, beachy, though, place where you can come and hang out.
Go ahead.
So you talk about change, but one of the things that we lack here in Sussex County is we have a great summer tourism, but in the winter, it's not very kid-friendly. And I see you guys, I know you guys travel with your children a lot, and especially with the younger children. It's great to have a place to go in the winter where the kids actually are comfortable in staying in a hotel because it becomes boring. There's either TV or a small little room. Are you guys really thinking about bringing that into Lewes? Because when it rains in Sussex County, there's nothing to do. The water park's closed.
Yeah.
So, talking about being off-centered and having new ideas, I would hope that when more establishments come, they think about, like, I'm not saying something as big as a Great Wolf Lodge, but something similar where there's actually an arcade inside because, I have small children as well, and it's always a nightmare. Even in the winter, we like to just go down to Rehoboth and stay from Milford just to get away on a weekend. So are you guys thinking about that in the future?
No, only, and let me qualify that, only because we are very careful about marketing in any way, shape, or form to and anything that might look like we're marketing to children or anyone underage. So we probably wouldn't go that route, only because we don't want to. We will definitely be family friendly. We will be able to accommodate families. My husband was certainly adamant about no TVs in these rooms. We don't want people sitting in here watching TV. I'm like, and the rest of our management team was like, are you crazy? If you're traveling with small kids, you want a TV for at least a half an hour at some point. So we haven't come to a decision on that one. But that's sort of our philosophy on sort of what we have a ton of kids come to the brewery for tours because they're here with their families, and you can't just leave them in the hotel while you go to the brewery tour. So we do have a lot, and we do have our birch beer soda on tap for kids, and but it's a very fine line.
Are there any other questions? Microphone is coming.
Having says it's on. Having been out to the Budweiser tour out in St. Louis, do other breweries have hotels, are you the first brewery that's doing
There's
that?
I'm gonna blank on the name. Out in the Northwest, there's a chain of brew pubs, and they I think it's McMinimans, and they have an awesome hotel sort of brew pub kind of experience out there. Our friends at Stone Brewery in Escondido, California, have said that they are going to consider, they have bought property to build a hotel across the street from their facility. But not a lot of them do, but some, I've heard of it. It's not an unusual concept.
Any other questions?
I know everybody here would like to know, do we all get samples this morning? But seriously, beyond that, you guys are a true success story for not only the county, but as well as the state.
Well, thank
You really are, and so congratulations.
Thank you.
And all of us here, I'm certain, would like to learn and want to hear from you how we all can grow like you have. Because at the end of the day, we all live in a very difficult, challenging economic time, and you all continue to grow and succeed. So if you would, share some thoughts about that.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, we make a product that people enjoy, that's affordable, and it's not, a crazy stretch of the imagination to go out and buy a 4-pack or 6-pack of great beer. So I think that is, to be sort of we're sort of at the higher end of the beer category in terms of a luxury product, but at the same time, it's the beer category, so it's an affordable luxury product that we're making. So it's an approachable investment to support our company. But I also think that even within our world of the beer company, that we work hard to continually sort of make ourselves, stretch ourselves to do things that aren't necessarily being done even within our segment of the beer community. So not only because it's fun and more interesting to do it that way, but I think it helps sets us apart from sort of our friendly competitors in the craft beer market. So I think that has been a big part of why we've been able to grow in that segment over the last 18 years. So I guess, I don't know. It's kind of a big question.
We have time for one more question. Anyone else?
Not so much a question as a comment. As a resident of Lewes, I was stuck in a traffic jam one day, and I saw this big kid go by me on a skateboard. It was Sam. One winter, I'm going down Pilot Town Road toward the center of town, and there's this big fella selling hot cider and coffee on the corner with his kids. It was Sam. The innovation that Sam brought to his business and to the community has been very, very much appreciated, as this gentleman has said. I'd just like to suggest that it's probably more business, it's more a personal thing that Sam has done. And his creativity is really what makes things happen. It's just been exciting to watch.
Yes, he has a lot of creativity.
Thank you.
Sometimes it's exhausting.
Mariah, I did want to ask, what can we do as a community to support you? With Dogfish Inn.
Now you can bring the samples in. I don't know. I mean, I guess the main thing would be sort of help spread the word about all of our small businesses and local businesses, and keep speaking highly of our local businesses that you know and run across, and share that information with all your friends and your visitors.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Mariah.